It is time. Hello, everyone. Soul Commodore here, back at you again. To kick things off, before we even start painting or anything, Elle, thank you very much for the raid. Uh, Welcome in, everyone. In case there's anyone who doesn't know my name or who I am, I'm Soul Commodore. I am an artist sometimes. I play video games sometimes. And yeah, just happy you all could come in. Elle, how did your stream go? I understand if any of you have to leave for whatever reason, you got to go eat, you got to go rest, you got to go um, pick up your kids, you got to go do whatever it is you need to do. Feel free to go and do that. I just appreciate y'all being here. Um, but yeah, thank you very much for the raid. I hope your stream went well. Um, and we are inching ever closer to this piece being done. Um, right now, we are working on all of the fine little details. We've got the bulk of the painting done, um, but now we're working on all like the small little things all around. Um, just taking care of that before we move on. But yeah, I hope you all are having a wonderful day so far. Uh, for any newcomers, I must apologize for whatever reason. My webcam is very laggy, especially when I move around a lot. Um, the sound doesn't lag, but my movement like gets very choppy. Although it's not doing it so much now. I don't know why it does, but you'll probably notice that as the stream goes on. That every once and again I get a little choppy, and I appreciate. I'm sorry about that. That will be fixed when I finally get a new webcam at some point. Maybe I'll buy one for my birthday, which is it's gonna be this Saturday. So maybe I'll make that a birthday present for myself. But we're not here to talk about webcams. We're here to do some painting. So we're going to get started on that. So choose which brush I want. What is this? Wow, two raids, two raids in a row. Saw Cannon, thank you very much for the raid. Now it's funny. I know, just like with Elle, I know what you were doing. I know you were playing some Pokemon because I was in there. But thank you very much for the raid. Very much appreciated. For all y'all who don't know me, my name is Soul Commodore. I'm an artist. Sometimes I'm going to use the same joke I just said 2 minutes ago. I'm an artist sometimes. I play video games sometimes. If any of you need to run, please feel free to do so. We stand raid and runners here because hey, people got lives to lead. You know, had to forward the vibes. Well, I very much appreciate it. You're the second raid of the day so far, which is fun. So I got to give shout outs to the two raiders. First off, L Lai at Lurian. Y'all should give him a follow. He's a fellow artist. Fantastic. You're here until pizza arrives? Fantastic. Pizza's a good choice. Um, but yeah, L is a fantastic artist. Does a lot of digital art. I've seen you play some games too, but primarily a digital artist. Um, has been doing some very fascinating work as of late. Um, and yeah, definitely you should definitely check out. Very fun streams. A lot of stream rewards that are really fun to play with. Um, so you should go check out L. And Salt Cannon is the chillest of the chill. Just a really cool dude playing Pokemon primarily, but he's also done some Super Mario 64 speed runs. Has done you just played a Donkey Kong Country. I got in on the tail end of that. Uh, but yeah, definitely check out Salt. Fantastic dude. Very very glad to anytime I get to be in either of these people's streams because you know I'm very fortunate because there's a lot of negativity online and there can be a lot of negativity on Twitch, and the fact that these two have crossed my paths, you know, it's been a I've been very fortunate with the people that I've met on this platform, and y'all should go check them out too, because that's what we do here. So we're working on this painting. It is a painting for my wife that'll be hanging in our living room, and I'll show you the corollary painting that's going along with it because I apologize for the shaky camera. It's so that's not the whole thing, but there's just like a whole bunch of black up there, so not really much to see. But this painting is going to be in floral area. This one that I painted way back in 2016 of another rainy street in my hometown, Chatham, Ontario. So these two are going to go together in our living room. There's the whole thing. But yeah, that's the plan. So that's what we're working towards. All right. So let's get working. Oh, salt, of course, of course. It's very much warranted. I remember that the first time I came across your channel, my buddy Jake from the Woods actually raided into your. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let me stop that from shaking. But Jake from the Woods raided into your channel while I was working on my in-laws' floors. I was working on their basement floor, putting down some. It wasn't paint, but it was like basically like a new finish on their floor. And I was just kind of listening more so than watching. And I was like, yo, this dude is legit. This dude's cool. There's something about rainy streets that take me back to my time in Japan. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I love this kind of stuff because, well, rain is my favorite type of weather. And these pictures, the photos that these are based on are photos that I took while out walking in the rain. This is the corner of Sandy Street and McNaughton Avenue in Chatham. The other one is Queen Street and Park Avenue in Chatham. But yeah. So yeah, right now what we're doing is we're doing a whole bunch of small little detail work. So hopefully I've got the camera close enough to pick it up. Also, Elle, if the pizza hasn't arrived yet, what kind of pizza are you getting? And for anyone else in chat, what kind of pizza do you like? Me, I'm very basic. There are different pizzas that I like, but my favorite is just pepperoni and cheese with light sauce. That's my go-to pizza order. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're going to take some white, black, and some blue. My blue hasn't all dried up, which I think it has. Unfortunately, so we'll just get some more of that. Onion, bell peppers, extra cheese, because the options for veggies were limited. Ah, fair enough, fair enough. Hard to go wrong with pepperoni? Yeah. They didn't even have red bell pepper, just green ones? Ah, that's a shame. I don't know what it is, but red bell peppers are just better. Well, I know after a long session of streaming, I'm sure you're pretty hungry, so I hope it gets there quickly. And for those of you who are not so much interested in art but interested in games, I am currently playing through Paper Mario Thousand Year Door on Tuesdays, and then I'm playing Celeste on Sundays. So if you have any interest in those games, want to check out how bad I am at them, feel free to join me on those days. Red bells are riper, so they have more developed sugar. Ah, see, I didn't know that. Thank you for teaching me something. I had no idea. Okay, so I am going to see if I can zoom in just a bit. Oh, forgive my hand. Because what I want to do next is I want to do this pole here that's going to be holding the street light, like with the hand to tell you the walk and don't walk sign. That's what it's called. Is that the GameCube version of Thousand Year Door? I don't think the remake. Yes, it's the original GameCube version. Because yeah, the remake isn't out. But I tell you, much like how I feel about uh, Super Mario RPG being released on the Switch, I am so happy for my peeps who have always wanted to play those games and never got a chance to. Now they have a chance to. I mean, because I mean, Thousand Year Door was basically just on the. I don't even think it was on the Virtual Console. It was just on the GameCube, and if you didn't have a GameCube or anything that could play a GameCube game, you were out of luck. You know. And I know that the original copies of those games are ridiculously expensive. I'm fortunate in that I still have my two original copies from when I was a teenager. Um, but and the same with Super Mario RPG because that wasn't out on any virtual consoles for the longest time because of the dispute between Square and Nintendo. So the fact that a bunch of people who have never experienced those games finally get a chance to, oh, it just makes me very happy because those two are like Thousand Year Door is within my top three games of all time. Um, and Super Mario RPG is definitely, if not top five, at least top 10. Squeenix. Squeenix and Nintendo finally made up. It just took decades. Yeah, yeah. Whenever stuff like that takes a long time, I always, and I don't know if this is a morbid way of thinking, but I always kind of feel bad. As happy as I am that it finally happened, I always kind of feel bad for the people who didn't, for lack of a better way of putting it, didn't survive getting to see it happen again. You know, like for whatever reason, like life just happened and they you know passed away or they're incapacitated in some other way. Like they just can't appreciate. They're not able to actually see it happen. You know, it's a thing that crosses my mind every once and again. You know, because I'm sure there are plenty of people who would have loved to see Super Mario RPG um, get a re-release, and just unfortunately didn't get a chance to. You know, maybe it's maybe it's because I'm turning 34 on Sunday, but it's one of those things like just sometimes mortality kind of creeps up on you and gets you to thinking. But hey, you know what? That's kind of the. I promise I'll switch this topic in a second, but I'm on a my brain is on a roll here. Um, this kind of the curse of being human is being cognizant of your mortality, you know, and that's kind of the cost of being human. You've got sentience, and you've got like all the benefits uh, of self actualization and all that, but it comes with the cost of knowing that hey, it all has an end date. You know. Yeah, exactly. Time has a way of doing that. Like my personal friend group, I posited a couple of things in a group chat that we have because it's usually just memes and jokes and all that. But I did lay down some stuff, and I don't know if it's because I was watching or listening to my dinner with Andre at work uh, while I was working on some spreadsheets. But um, I asked in there like there are two quotes. That the one that I just said, where the cost of being human is the awareness of our own mortality, and that the rewards of love come with the submission uh, of being known, right? Oh, thanks, Rack. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I dabble in the arts a little bit, but thank you for the kind words. Very much appreciated. Um, But yeah, I posed those because I was like, I think there's truth to those. Obviously, it's not an absolute truth, but what do you all think? But everyone was busy, so uh, there wasn't much response. But hey, that's on it. Now, with all that all that morbid talk, I hope y'all are having a fantastic day so far. Um, y'all being here is definitely brightened my day, so I appreciate all y'all. So we're just squaring up this pole here, putting on the final touches. And now we'll try to get this light going. Hey, Salt Cannon, thank you for the lurk. I'm gonna have to make some food. Hey, no worries. If I'm not back before end, enjoy the stream. Thank you very much for rating in. Thank you very much for um, trusting your community with me. You know, I promise I will do my best to leave them in good hands. But thank you. Enjoy your food, and in case I don't see you again, I always feel like somebody's watching me. Thank you for the lurk and the raid, so I appreciate you. All right, so let's get this light going, which will be probably right about here. And just like with the other lights, we're just gonna have to get some more yellow paint. We're gonna get some yellow, mix it with a little bit of red, and make an aura around the light. Soul is such a wonderful artist. Honestly, I love picking his brain, even though we have different main. Well, thank you, pal. Right back at you. Whenever I see your work, I'm like, damn, I need to brush up on my digital art skills because I have very little. But your work inspired me, especially like your figure work. Uh, your figure work and your knowledge of anatomy and how all that works, dude, just so good. So we're gonna make a little bit of a dingy kind of yellow, black, orange type thing. I'm gonna add some white to it to lighten it up. Hey, Rack, thank you for the glug glug. I appreciate it. I really need to start drinking more water. I used to drink so much water at my other jobs. Um, like I made a concerted effort to drink a lot of water, but what is water? It's a very good question. But I need to get back in that habit of drinking a good amount of water. Also, for those of you who may not have seen this before and have seen my palette, and you're like, that looks familiar, what is that? It is, in fact, an old LP record. Um, what I like doing is going to thrift shops and getting old records that I have absolutely no desire to listen to. Um, because I like records. I like a lot of old records. I have a lot of old records that I actually keep and listen to. These are like compilation albums, um, where most of the songs on these albums I have on other records anyway, like the actual artist that like this one was some sort of disco album, right? And it's like, well, all of the songs that I would have listened to on here, because like even though it's not disco, Brick House by the Commodores were on here. What was on this one? And it's like I have Brick House on the album that it's from, which is the Commodore's self-titled LP, Commodores, um, and I have it on like my iTunes, and I have it's on YouTube. Like I have that song everywhere. I don't need to have this record just for that song, you know. So I use old LPs that I'm not going to listen to, and it's like, well, I might as well repurpose them. You only know of milk and coffee? Hey, I mean, milk is good. I can't say I'm a fan of coffee, but milk is good. So what we're going to do here is very lightly, just like these other lights here, we're going to build an aura. Now this is going to be a much smaller aura around this light, just a halo of light around a central point. But this isn't nearly as powerful a light as a street light per se, or a traffic light. So it's not going to be as big or wide an aura. Just enough to get the idea that this light is shining, right? It's very lightly like that. And we're going to clean off that brush and then go back in with some pure white while the paint is still like a little bit wet. I mean, it's acrylic, so it's going to dry very quickly, but the white will still kind of pick up some of that color. And this is kind of orangish because even though this is a green light, you get the feeling that it's a... no, I need white paint, not yellow. This has kind of a white or a yellowish tinge to it, so you know that it's the walk sign, or the what do you call it, like the hand signal is up, telling you that you shouldn't walk. Hey, Elle. Well, then go enjoy your pizza. Thank you very much for the raid again. Very much appreciate you as well. And of course, I always feel like somebody's watching me. That was very pitchy. Let me do that again. I always feel like somebody's watching me. I think that was a little flat, but you know what? I'm not going to push my luck with the third one. So, enjoy your pizza. Thank you very much for coming in. Always a delight to see you, chat with you. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. If I don't see you back in here. So we're gonna come back in here with our white. And there's not a whole lot of paint on my brush. I'm actually gonna take more paint off my brush because now I'm gonna kind of feather this out so that it kind of matches the aura a little bit. And then we'll go in with one more pass and give it nice bright white right in the center. But just so that you get the idea that there's something glowing here, you know? Hopefully that's showing up for you, but when when we get to closing out stream, I'll actually bring the camera in and kind of show what it was that we were doing up close and personal. So now we're going to take that same brush, get some bright white on it. Now, as I said before, I am currently working on a bunch of new works for an exhibition that I have planned. It's not being displayed anywhere yet, but I'm getting all the works together. And also applied for a grant to actually afford to like stretch all this canvas and all that I'm painting on, you know. And if I need to get more, the grant will help pay for that. But that's very conceptual. Still a lot of work in terms of like actual like physical work on the canvas. It isn't all concept. But I did work on a couple of pieces on here, like they were charcoal drawings with little acrylic highlights on them. So if you want to check those out, they're in the VODs. But this isn't one of those pieces. This is purely a personal piece. Like I said, it's going to be hanging in our living room. Highlight on this pole to show that that light is shining. Not too much of one though. Just enough to actually the one I'm gonna darken it up a little. And again, that probably isn't showing up on the camera, but I'll bring the camera in closer when we get closer to the end of stream. All right. So that's that pole taken care of. So we've got all of our poles here. We got this light pole. We've got this. One thing we can clean up a little is actually this traffic light. First, I wanna clean my brush, and then we'll clean up the edges, and we'll add a little bit more detail to where it's actually anchored on the back. It won't be a lot more detail, but it'll be some. Also, I forgot to say, if y'all need me to turn up my voice or turn down my voice or turn up or down the music, please let me know, and I will do that. I think I have to reconnect to a MooBot for whatever reason, because I have an automatic message that's supposed to come up saying the source of the music, which is of course Lofi Girl, but it hasn't been coming up. Maybe it will now. I don't know. I just reset the page, but anyway, that's not important. Let's get back to the painting. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a nice gray color. Nice dark gray color. With maybe a tinge of red. Kind of brown it up a little bit. And I'm going to come in here. Need a little more white. Just going to kind of recolor this a little. And then once we do that, I'm going to go in with some black paint on the outsides and shape it a little more that way. Yeah. We're going to get as much of that paint off the brush as we can. In case I haven't said already, this is acrylic paint that I'm working with, not oil paint. I actually prefer working with acrylic because it is harder to work with in terms of drying time, because acrylic paint dries very, very quickly. So you really don't have that much time to work with when you're working with acrylic. So if you want to blend stuff on the canvas, it's doable, but it is more difficult. And I like that challenge of it, you know? there comes a point when I'm getting close to finishing every single painting where, especially if I'm doing it on stream, I realize that I'm probably not going to finish it that day. And that moment just hit for me. Because I'm just thinking of all the other stuff I have to do still in this painting. And it's like, I'd love to get it done today, but probably not. But hey, you never know. We still got time. We've still got time. So that's that kind of fixed. And then on the back, I'm gonna grab some yellow. Realize that's out of view of the camera. You can't really see what I was doing there. Just mixing right on the palette. Getting like a very kind of like grayish yellow color. And we're just gonna come up in here. And then just add some suggestions of the thing actually being anchored to the back. Nothing too elaborate, just I'm gonna get some more yellow. All right. Add some dimension to it. I'll probably come back and do one more pass at that, but for now we'll just leave it. And now, what do we want to do next? Oh, we gotta add some of that light on the road. That's what we have to do. We'll clean off our brush. I also like acrylic because, well, I have to say, like, when I use oil, I don't use traditional oil paint. I use what's called water-soluble oil paint. And to wash that, you need water and like a laundry soap, a bar of laundry soap. And you just clean your brushes on that laundry soap, and it'll actually clean the oil paint off the brush because it's water-soluble. Once upon a time, I knew how it worked. It's escaping me right now. But for next stream, I'll look it up. But it's really, really cool. I am glad that it exists because it doesn't smell as heavily as a traditional oil paint, and you don't need like harsh chemicals to actually clean the brush. With acrylic paint, you just need water. You just need a good old glass of water, just like the paints you used to use in school, way back in kindergarten and whatnot, all that. Now those are more tempera paints, which are different. I had a professor in university tell us one time that he was going to teach us how to make our own egg tempera paint. Then he never did. Matter of fact, I'll never forget, because that class, like, we were all, it was me, I was the only guy in the class other than the professor. And all of us were like, hey man, like, what is this? You said that you were going to teach us how to make our own paints and all that, because we're university students. Paint is expensive. Being able to make your own from eggs would be amazing. And I'll never forget, he looked at us because it was on the syllabus. And we were also complaining about the fact that he said that he was going to teach us all these different paint techniques as well, and he never did. And I'll never forget, he said, and I quote, "I am not here to teach you how to paint," even though it was on the syllabus. "I'm not here to teach you how to paint. I am here to teach you concepts to make your painting better." And it's like, dude, I can come up with my own concepts. Like, I understand what you're saying, but I can come up with my own concepts. I have no idea how to do intaglio, which is a style of paint. I have no idea how to do that. So if you could, like, teach us what you said you were going to teach us, that would be wonderful. But he never did. So being in school for art is also kind of a tough thing, because art is so subjective, and sometimes you're at the whims of basically whether or not your art professor likes your stuff, right? And if they don't like your stuff, like that same professor hated photorealism. He didn't see the point to it. He felt like we should just take a picture, you know. Um, and you felt like you had to avoid photorealism if you wanted to get a good grade. Now, I have no idea if that's how he would have graded it, but you weren't going to take any chances because you wanted to graduate, right? And it's just not a great way to experience art, is with all that pressure, right? But on top of that too, it makes it difficult when you look up the artists, because a lot of the professors are practicing artists themselves, and man, is it a is it something when it turns out you don't like their art, you know? When I was younger and more immature and more jaded about the whole experience of going to school for art, I remember I would say, like, man, I can't respect an art teacher whose art I don't like. And it's like, that's, now looking back on it, like, that's a little juvenile. That's a little precious of me. It's like, no, you can still respect them as a professor and not like their art. Like, oh. This particular professor, I did not like his art though. It just wasn't my style, you know. I was not a fan. But you know what? Plenty of people were fans of his work. He sold a lot of it, so clearly somebody liked his stuff. Which at the end of the day is what's most important, is finding, first of all, enjoying what it is that you do, and then if you can, carving out a niche for yourself. You can find your people who get off on your stuff. That's what matters. Yeah, that's hard to do. Yeah, there we go. Like I said, I'll probably come back and touch this up a little as well. Oop. Well, maybe right now, because I kind of smudged that more than I wanted to. Touch that up with some black paint. And since we've got the black paint out, I am going to go over some of these areas as well. following the line here. Apologies if my hand gets in the way of what I'm doing. But sometimes it's just the angle that you need to be at in order to do something. There we go. Oh, I just realized you can't see what I'm doing. Sometimes I get caught up just painting and I forget, like, oh, you're also broadcasting, dude. Like, people gotta be able to see what you're doing. Sort of like streaming and then not realizing you're on mute. I remember one of my early streams, I was on mute for like a good couple of minutes, and then someone finally piped up, like, "Hey, man, you're on mute." So my old Super Mario Brothers 3 stream, the first gaming stream that I did, and I was talking about it was World 5-9, which is an auto scroller that scrolls vertically and diagonally. Which apparently I learned this from watching Average Games Done Quick, one of their charity streams way back in the day, like one of the early ones. That apparently the original Nintendo, the NES, wasn't actually capable of scrolling two directions at once. So they had to do like some crazy engineering in that level to actually get it to do that. And they got it to work. Which is, I don't know, I find it fascinating. And I was saying all that, and had no idea that I was muted. But it all turned out all right. I've gotten better at making sure that I'm not muted. Now I'm gonna come here and fix this up a little. I'm doing what I call a lot of maintenance work, which is kind of reviewing the canvas, just looking at areas that I think could be cleaned up a little bit while I have that particular color on my brush. Right now it's black, so might as well go through and see if there's any areas of the road that I wanna clean up a little while I've got this color on my brush. Yep. There we go. And I am going to come up here and just kind of do a line across here, kind of match with that one. Now, since we're on this side of the canvas, we might as well put in this light bulb that I've been neglecting. Let me raise this a little more. Stop shaking, please. It's about as good as it's going to get right now. Okay. So, the majority of this light pole is going to be in silhouette, just because of the darkness of the scene. There are going to be a few highlights on there, just the different little details, but the majority of it is going to be in silhouette. So what we have to make sure is that the silhouette is, looking at my reference image, a little bit lighter than the background image, like the sky. We have to make sure of that. So we are going to start with a base of black. And this isn't a steel light pole, this is a wooden one. So we're actually going to add some yellow and red to it as well, and a touch of white, just so that this gray ends up being more of a gray-brown. And I'm going to test it. Add just a touch more white. And when we get down here in this area, like, we can add more black, but when we get up here, that's when we need to lighten it up. So. This pole is basically going to go pretty up high because it needs to come up and meet this this street light that's up here. I think what I'm going to do now, actually, because we're working on something bigger, I am going to move the... Nah, actually, I don't feel like moving the camera. Okay. So we've got a color on our brush. Lots of red, good amount of white, lots of black, and a touch of white. And we'll come up here, and right now we're just going to kind of figure out the borders. So, start here at the bottom, where it's basically going to start right about here. Yeah. Yep. And then we're gonna kind of fan the brush out as you run it down. Not being too concerned if the line is perfectly straight or not. I'm gonna fix all that in just a minute or so. So. Also, I apologize because I realized that you're really just kind of looking at my armpit there. So let me turn the camera a little more. Paint brushes, actually. I wasn't liking how that one was working. Also, all of you, if you're interested in painting, word to the wise, you should treat your brushes better than I treat mine. I beat mine the hell up. And you really shouldn't. Take better care of them than I take care of mine. May a terrible example follow when it comes to that. Sorry, my chair there's a little loud. I'm gonna have to stand for this. Hopefully I'm not gonna completely block the camera. I don't know. So that if I block this, maybe you can still see kind of some of it. I don't know. I think it was a good start. Be some stuff on the sides and bottom of this pole. That will kind of handle that. Okay. I just realized that sentence made absolutely no sense. I was worried about like the overrun of some of the paint down here, and then I realized that the what do you call it? The different things that are attached to the bottom of that pole, like there's some signage, there's like some wires and stuff, will kind of take care of that overrun. So I don't really have to worry about it. But I didn't really communicate that. I kind of did that thing where I was thinking in my brain and then just kind of answered myself. You know, not keeping cognizant of the fact that you all can't read my mind. You would have no idea what it is that I'm thinking. Add a little bit of white to this. Marking purposes to mark where this hole ends up here. Collect a little bit of light, so but I'm just working on it there. And then we'll come back to the bottom and start working on some more stuff. And I may have to end up making that taller, but we'll worry about that another time. Right now, what I want to do is I want to take what we just did and I want to match that color down here in the street. Well, not so much match the color per se, but match the fact that it's being reflected in the street. Just kind of map that out. Like down here. Just like so. That actually looks pretty good to me. Yeah. Not too bad. Not too bad. There's going to be a curb here that I need to put in. But I am going to kind of just... Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so now we just need to add some stuff to this pole. But first, I'm going to turn this a little more toward me, and I'm going to check something on my computer. Board out of the way. Come on. Thanks. There. All right. Let me clean off this brush, and I'll get a small brush again, and we'll start putting in some detail. Because again, that's what this is all about. It's just getting some details up in here. Drink as well. Right, I was going to check something on my computer real quick. Oops, not that. I almost opened Photoshop. So that's not what I wanted to do. Okay. Now on to these details. Let's see what we're doing. So, most importantly, I'm gonna grab some white, and we're going to... Where does that start exactly? Right near the top of the storm. Okay. But first, actually, I'm gonna grab some white, a very small amount of black. I want to grade this up a little bit. A small amount of black, relatively speaking. Still like a fair amount of black, but or it would look like it on your brush. But you have to remember that black, it's much easier to darken something than it is to lighten it back up. So just keep that in mind if you're working with paints. It is much easier to darken something than it is to lighten something. So just be wary of that. a small amount of black goes a long, long way. Very easy to darken something too much. Keep that in mind. Whereas the corollary to that is it's very hard to lighten something if you've made it too dark. Like it takes a lot more white to lighten something than it takes black to darken it. So, just something that I've learned the hard way many, many times. One of those lessons that you get more than once, and it's like, well, I probably should have just learned this the first time instead of having to do it again. I remember way back, I had someone, I think it was when I was still doing these on Instagram Live. Someone came in and said that they found it interesting the way that I, like my paint technique. Oh, just a minute, everybody. Oh. I'll be right back, y'all. There's just someone at the door. So just take a look at this while I go get that. All right, I'm back. I don't know who that was, but we're back. Pretty sure it was a person from Rogers just trying to sell us internet packages and whatnot. It's like, no, we're very happy with the internet we have now. Because I got to the door and they were like walking away, but they were wearing red, which is the Rogers color. And okay, so now we're gonna grab some yellow to mix with that grayish color. Touch of red. I'm gonna start putting highlights around this down here. Some more white to that. And I'm going to need a lot more white. Yo, Mio, welcome in. How are you? How are you? Hope you're doing well. Welcome on in. I was lurking on Gage and was doing some adult shit, like in cleaning the garage. Doing fairly well. How are you? Nice, nice, nice. I'm good. I'm good. We're making a good, steady progress on this painting. So I'm doing very well. Also, good on you for taking care of that adult stuff and cleaning the garage. That can be tough to find the motivation to do, even if it needs doing. You can curse on here. That's fine. That's fine. I don't mind cursing on here. I don't always curse myself, but there are some times that I do, especially when I'm playing Celeste. It's no worries. Separating yours and your ex's stuff. I see. I see. Well, see that's also. I mean, that's commendable to me because that can be difficult to do even emotionally. You know. So still, good on you. Not an easy thing. Adding some details to this grass beside the road. Technically, there is a sidewalk here, but you know what? You see so little of it in the original photo that I took that it's not really worth putting in. I'm just making this grassy area just some grass. You're always so calm and chill. I just assume you have languages. You have rules about language. Oh no no no. Um, obviously there's the big ones like no slurs or anything like that. You know, all the pretty basic like no hate speech, no uh, racism, sexism, uh, homophobia, transphobia, any sort of LGBTQ phobia, all that kind of stuff. Um, but in terms of swearing and stuff, if you swear in chat, that's fine. Like I said, just no slurs. We're good to go. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's coming along, little by little. We've come out of the stage of the painting where I kind of hate it. Now I'm starting to come around on it. Oh yes, I'm all about those slurs I say all the time. Now I'm gonna put in the curve here. Hopefully this goes okay, but we'll find out. a little more rounded than I wanted. But we can come in with some black after and square it up. The key to this is just getting it in, and then after that you can fix it, you know? I've been making Gage a gift. I'm making him a tarot card set of our favorite OCs. Oh, very nice, very nice. That sounds awesome. What medium are you making them in? Like digital and then having them printed, or you doing physical media? But that sounds like a fantastic gift. We stand thoughtful gifts in this space, most definitely. Sculpting is kind of like that. Get the thing on this bait. Yeah, it's starting digital and then printing them out. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, exactly. And you're right about the sculpting. Yeah, it's like, listen, we can fix it later. Let's just get this thing down. For the one and only sculpture uh, thing that I did when I was in university, it was my first year, and it was the general all-purpose art class, right? Introduction to art. Um, for all the students that came from high school and thought maybe they'd want to do art, it's basically like the introductory class to like what university art's actually like. Um, and I remember that for the sculpture section, this woman and I, like one of my classmates, she and I got together and we're talking all about like what our plans were going to be, and we were really got it down pat and all that. And then uh, the next class, she didn't show, and then the next class after that, she didn't show. And for these sculpture projects, we all paired up basically, right? And then come the third class, and she still wasn't there. Turns out that she had dropped out of school to become basically an influencer, which, good on her, but uh, I was left without a partner for this project. I think it turned out all right, all things considered. And my professor, who was she was a very tough professor. She started out liking it, and then the TA said some shit about it, and then all of a sudden she hated it. I was like, oh, okay. I do sculpting sometimes. I'm making a new mask currently sitting on my desk. I haven't touched it in a minute because my thumb started to hurt. Oh, fair. Yeah, by all means, please share. Please share. Sorry she bailed on you. Thank you. But hey, you know what? Sorry. Sorry. I hope her life is going well. I have no ill will in. I mean, I felt kind of ill will at the time, but I don't feel any ill will now. I hope life turned out the way that she wanted it to. Hope she's doing all right. All right, now we're gonna go and fix this curve a bit. When it really comes down to it, at the end of the day, I just need some. Some stiffer brushes. I haven't added the details, but it's coming together. All right, let me check this out. I would show this on the screen. Ooh, look at that. Yo, are those horns? Like, I mean, the whole thing looks dope, but those teeth, that's dope. Well done. What is that like plaster? Also, sorry if you said what the medium was in chat. I just kind of clicked the link without reading further. Um, but no, very well done. That is awesome. See, I didn't know you did that. I didn't know you sculpted. That's really cool. Very, very cool. Polymer. Ah, the horns are gonna go on it eventually. Very, very nice. I wish I could show it on screen, but I need to figure out that scene. See, when my old laptop died, I basically lost all of my scenes because I didn't think to back any of them up, and I still have to set up the scene where I can show my computer screen. Nobody knows because you never bring it up. Ah, that's fair. That's fair. Well, hey, I think that's really cool. Fantastic work. Yeah, OBS is like I like it better than the Streamlabs OBS, but like I like just the I like having OBS itself better, but man, is it ever temperamental. Thankfully, all the scenes and stuff that I have now, it's all backed up. So if this computer dies, I don't have to like basically start from scratch again. But we're gonna cross our fingers and hope that this computer doesn't die because it shouldn't. I didn't get it that long ago. Oh. But then again, my other computer wasn't that old either, and it just decided to crap out one day. So who knows with technology? I think our downstairs neighbors, like our friends who live in our basement, I think they're cooking something that smells really, really good. Here with some black. Add some richness to that. There we go. Okay, cool. Okay, so now oh yes, please, please, please do. And anybody else in chat, please check out these links. Like that mask was that mask was fire. But yeah, please do if you have one available. Okay, next we're gonna need some yellow again and some black. Make a really dark yellow. And we're gonna come in here. And it's basically the casing that goes around the guide wire. We need to add some red to that. Without the red, it just kind of looks cute green on the canvas. Oh, right. Let's check out one of these tarot cards. Yo, the Chariot. That's dope. That's dope. Man, look at that card. Look at those figures. That's really cool. Well done. Man, like I was saying earlier to L, I need to every time I see stuff, I need to get back into digital. Well, back into like I was ever really in it. No, that's awesome. Well done, well done. All right. Well, there's the Moobot thing. Oh, it is no Mio. If there's one thing we do here, it's we stand and celebrate other people's work. It's definitely not a bother. I actively encourage people to, if they're working on a project, an art project, if they got something on the go, they're uh they're free to showcase it, and by all means, it is no bother at all. Hey, welcome back, L. Welcome on in. Good to see you again. How was the pizza? There we go. It looks pretty good. It wasn't bad, but not the best pizza. Ah, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, it's always kind of rough when you get pizza like that. Our pizza like that, there's two of them. Is a Little Caesars, and well, I mean, Little Caesars is also in the States, but I don't know if Pizza Pizza is. But yeah, Pizza Pizza is like a Pizza Pizza is very good in context, and the context is you're at a ballpark on a nice either warm summer night or a hot summer day, and you want yourself a slice. So you go down and you pay too much for it, but you get a nice slice of a pizza pizza. Um, Ordering pizza pizza isn't great because it does not reheat well. Um, and that for me is the biggest thing. My biggest what's the word I'm looking for? That's the thing I look for the most in pizza is does it reheat well? And there's a lot of them that do, and some of them that don't. And Pizza Pizza does not, unfortunately. But ooh, let's see what we got here. Two set of teeth for grinding. Ah, huh. That's a fun little character. I like that. You know what? It's funny. I should probably sketch a lot more than I do, but I don't. It's another one of my bad habits. But I should definitely sketch a lot more than I do. But hey, very nice, very nice. Thank you for sharing. Is that like a concept for like a from 10 years ago? Nice. What was the concept for that? 'Cause it kind of looked like a Pokemon. Which, if that's not what you were going for, my apologies, but it kind of looked like a Pokemon to me. Is that? Oh, that's a sign. Okay, yeah, we got to throw that in. Or if not a Pokemon, then like a concept for like a horror villain or something like that, like a monster of some sort. I liked making horror creatures and little things back in the day. This was before I had a phone that I sketched on, and eventually now the tablet. Nah, nice, 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 fair, very cool. I like that. Okay, I'm just using my finger here to kind of like rub out some of the paint that I just put on there. Okay, so now I'm gonna grab some black and make kind of a box here. See, I did all that work rubbing it out, and I'm gonna cover it anyway. Another horror. This one's more spooky. All right. Or you knew what joints were. Ooh, I like that face. And I mean, you know what? Honestly, with horror and stuff, like having anatomy that's not quite right adds to the spookiness. I think personally, very nice. I'm not sure I want to. Well, no, I guess technically I started my professional art career 10 years ago. I was about to say that I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I want to show any of my art from 10 years ago, but I actually don't mind that art because that's when I started doing this professionally. Like actually started like showing my stuff because I was out of school. I wasn't a student anymore, basically. Also, of course, I think it looks dope. It's just a sign stapled to this pole because it is a wooden pole. It's not a metal like pole. It's made of wood. So someone went and stapled a sign to it. I'm not sure what the words are on it, so I'm just gonna kind of scribble those in and hope to God that nobody thinks that this is AI because the letters don't make any sense. Stuff I don't hate immediately. I hadn't even gone through the others I found yet. So many sketchbooks. Nice, nice, nice. Speaking of, I'm gonna finish up some things for the night, so I'm gonna lurk for now. Sorry for hey. Again, no reason to apologize. I like seeing other people's work, and I like other people who are in the chat and watching being able to see other people's work. So, you know, it's all it's all a big collaboration, right? I appreciate you showing it. But yes, thank you for the alert. Thank you for dropping in and saying hello and chatting for a bit. of course, I'm gonna leave you with the I always feel like somebody's watching me. I think that was the best one of the night so far. But yeah, take it easy, Mio. Thanks for hanging out. We'll talk to you later. And thank you again for sharing your work, sharing your art with us. Okay, so like I said, we got to put some lettering on this, but it's going to be faded, so it's going to be gray, not pure white. There's an arrow. We'll let people ponder over that. This arrow is all about. All right. I'm just gonna put some stuff that looks like it could be lettering above it. And again, hope that nobody's like, hey, that looks like fake lettering. I hope it's not AI. Which, I am not a fan of AI, especially like with art, because I mean, you're basically stealing from a pool of artists' work without their permission. And I'm not a fan of it. I just hope none of that smoke comes my way. It is an AI. The lettering is indecipherable. There we go. There's that sign. The letters have to look half Russian and also like someone used the lasso tool all wrong on them. Then it's AI. Ah, fair, fair. Well, I definitely didn't do that with this. they just they just look like smudges. uh, all right, y'all. Little by little, these streams are getting a little bit longer. I'm starting to get that the muscle memory back and all that. But I think that's gonna do it for today. Let me back the camera up and then bring you all in to show you what all we did today. There's the, well, not quite full view, but a good look at a lot of it. Now let me grab my phone, bring you all in for a look. So what did we do today? We cleaned up some of this a little bit. especially up in here. And we added this little light and this pole. That's the walk signal. And we added this reflection, which will clean up that a little too. And then what else did we do? Well, we did a lot with this pole, you know. And it's not done yet. We still got to clean up here. But the base is pretty much done. And this little grassy area and this curve. And then the little reflection down here is pretty much done. So yeah, that's what we did today. And I'll put the camera back and do my little outro before we go raid a friend who doesn't usually do art but is doing some art today. Let's see. Oh, I'm glad. Well, I'm glad I was still here too. Have I shown my wife yet? Oh yeah, she's seen it. She's seen it, yeah. Yep. Because this isn't so much a surprise for her. She basically, the way it works is she thought it would be good to have two paintings above the TV, and she really likes the other one that I showed of the rainy street, and she was like, "Oh, do you have another painting that's that size?" And that painting is 24 by 36, and I don't have another painting in my possession that's 24 by 36. I have done others in the past, but they were either commissions or they were auctioned off in a charity auction. So I don't have possession of them anymore. So I was like, well, we'll make another one. So yeah, she's seen it. Thankfully, she likes it so far. So hope that continues. But yeah, that's I think that's gonna do it for today. And I think, yeah. This particular friend who we've rated a lot, but doesn't usually do art, but we're gonna check them out because they're doing some art today. But before we get to that raid, I just want to say thank you to all of you for coming in and hanging out while I make a mess on the canvas. Special shout outs, thank yous to L, Laya, Lurian, and Salt Cannon 5K. Thank you for your raids. Very much appreciate. Excuse me. Very much appreciated that you share your community with me. Um, very, very much appreciated, especially early in stream too. That was a nice surprise. Um, and Unseeing Raccoon. Thank you for the glug glug. I'll take another one too because I was thirsty. There we go. And we are going to go say hello to, again, someone who doesn't usually do art, but is currently doing art. Nat is currently doing some art, so we're gonna go say hello. It is. It is. So yeah, I'm going to stay in there. Well, I'll chat for a little bit, and then I'm gonna go wash my hands, and then I gotta talk to our neighbor about some electrical stuff that we're having done on the house, just to make things safer. And they're probably gonna do some stuff with their side of the house too. So yeah, thank you all for coming in. Very much appreciated. Have a good night, El. We are gonna be back here on Sunday, the day after my birthday. Yeah, there won't be a birthday stream this year, but it'll be the day after my birthday. We're gonna play some Celeste, nice chill stream, and then we'll be back with the art next Monday at 6 p.m. And the Celeste will be at like 10 a.m. or so. So stay tuned for that. So hopefully you can join us then. And if not, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And take it easy, everyone.